Yo, 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 it's your boy DT from DT Outfits Content live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter. I'm live on Instagram right now as well. So definitely go check me out. The link is in my bio. And today we got a special show beyond the baseline, the NBA edition. And I got my boy, friend, brother, family, longtime friend, known him for years, joining me on the show. I want to welcome to the show KDH. Welcome to the show, man.
What's going on? Thank you for having me.
No problem, man. So I'm glad we got a chance to get sit down and chop it up. If you watch me on YouTube, right, Instagram, go to my bio, my YouTube page. I'm live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, all that. Okay, so as we know, we didn't get a chance to do a pre-show like we normally do. We don't do pre-shows on the NBA. We didn't get to do one. My schedule's busy. I know you busy. I know your schedule. But it's time
Mhm.
to start to do like a weekend review on what happened this past weekend NBA, and also we're gonna go a little bit back to the beginning, of course, because we missed out on a few good topics this past year. I mean, past season, the beginning of the season. Before we jump into the show, what did you think about the off season? Real quick, a quick.
I mean, it wasn't really much to go after the offseason this year. We only had a few key pieces move around. Um, Outside of that, I think teams so far look a little even. Besides that, West, West a little stacked. But outside of that, I mean, it wasn't too much I could really say about the offseason. Besides, I think it was more interesting about the rookies and where they went more than it was who was getting traded or who was getting signed to any other team.
Right. And it was interesting. I know the big thing was they said the Lakers made a lot of great moves in the offseason. But right now, I don't know. They put a lot of pressure on the Lakers. They said the Lakers was doing a lot of moves, but I mean, they still got majority of their starting five, and they still looking rough. But we'll jump into that later on in the show. Um, so let's jump into the first topic. We're going to reflect on some of these past games, the games these past week. It's been quite a few games going on this past week, some top games. And I had a couple ones I really wanted to touch on. The first one we're going to touch on is the debut of the Beard, the debut of James Harden, the Clippers versus the Nets. The final score of that game was 111-97 in favor of the New York Nets, who haven't been playing that well, but they played well enough to beat the Clippers, who debuted so-called the guy who's been in the news for the last 3 to 4 months. And I actually checked my Substack account. I did a write up on the James Harden. We'll discuss that a little bit later on. So let's talk about that. What how do you feel about the game? The Nets versus the Clippers.
I mean, honestly and truly, Nick's shot probably the best they're probably ever going to shoot in their life against the Clippers. It was really no defense being played. I'm not going to say that's all solely around James Harden, but I think it definitely plays a little bit of a role. Um, Outside of that, we've seen Julius Randle season high, if I'm not mistaken, with 27 points against that team. It's it wasn't looking too good. It wasn't too looking good. New York even had a slow start, and it was looking like Clippers are pretty decent, but that fourth quarter performance was pretty tragic. I think they only scored like 21 points, so they got to step it up. I don't know how it's going to work with James Harden on the team. I mean, definitely slowed down the pace. Paul George could not get it going. He shot terrible. Kawhi shot a lot, but he didn't shoot the best. He shot okay. And Russ, we saw a slower pace. He still did pretty good overall, but I mean, like the team didn't do too bad. It's just they didn't figure it out. But it's the first game. I mean, what are you gonna go from the first game of James Harden?
The first game. Julius Randle was the leading scorer. He had 27 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. Kawhi Leonard was the leading scorer for the Clippers, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, which is not good at all if your leading scorer after team is only got 18 points. So that's definitely not good. As a whole, the New York Nets they shot 46.6%, while the Clippers shot 49.3 and still lost the game. Um,
Mhm.
New York Knicks took more shots. They were 44 for 88, 41 for 88, and the Clippers are 36 for 73. So, oh my, and then the Knicks killed them on rebounds, 18-7 offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds, 30-24. And we know most of
Mm,
those probably came from Russ because nobody else on the team likes to get rebounds. So he probably got
mhm.
3. Um, very disappointing start for James Harden to be on the team. As I said
Mm.
before, is he gonna be a headache or he's gonna be the solution? And right now, he so far starting that game, he didn't look too good. So we're gonna jump into the next game. We'll dive more into the James Harden travesty later on in the show. Okay, so now next game was Timberwolves versus the Celtics. The Timberwolves gave the Boston Celtics their first loss of the season. The
They
final
gave him
score,
that business.
I know, 114 to 109 in overtime. And of course, one of my favorite young players in the league, Anthony Edwards, and dropped 38 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, and 1 steal. Tatum had 32 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 5 steals. How you feel about this game, KDH?
I mean, I think it was a good game. I think it was definitely something that we can look to see what Timberwolves were supposed to look like last year, uh, with the addition of the Rudy Gobert. But this year, I think they're finally kind of getting the hang of it and kind of figuring it out. I mean, we're definitely seeing, in my eyes, at least an MVP player out of Anthony Edwards coming in, especially giving him the business. Um, that was their first loss of the season for Boston. Rudy Gobert looked pretty good. They're still on a 4-0 at home record, which is good. And then Nas Reed, they got it for a backup, is playing perfect. The way they're looking like a championship level team the way it's going. If they can continue it, then I mean they're looking pretty good. Um, but we'll see. I mean, don't get me wrong, Celtics also looking good. Um, that game, I think Kristaps was questionable before the game, but he still did play. So I mean, if I'm sure if he's a little bit better healthy, but you don't know what we're gonna get out of Kristaps. I mean,
Okay,
he's
so
still that guy though.
he's starting out hot right now. He having a hot
Yeah.
start, but he got to keep that going the rest of the season. Because right now, to me, the Celtics are looking the favorite to actually win it all this year because they are very rounded team, and
Mm,
addition of Drew Holiday and Porzingis has been very good. So
yeah.
let's see how it go. I thought it'll be a kind of fall off from losing God, what's his name? Went to Memphis. What's his name?
Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart. I thought it would be a fall off from losing him, but it
Not with
hasn't.
Drew Holiday.
Not with Drew Holiday, even though I still think Marcus is a better defender than Drew. That's just me personally. I think I like Drew. I always like Drew, but I still take
Mm.
Marcus when it comes to defense a little bit more because I think he's a little bit more dog in him than is in Drew Holiday.
Drew's just
Um,
smart with his plays. That's
but
it.
the only issue I looked at when I looked at his team stat sheet, that field goal percentage, 51% Timberwolves to 39% with
Mhm.
the Celtics. That's huge. That's not a good. That's too big of gap between the percentage. It should be a little bit closer. Now I see why the Boston Celtics lost that game. Then it was 11 for 39 and 3-point shooting. So that's another thing. I mean, Timberwolves was not that any better, 13 for 37. So
Mhm.
and the fun thing, actually, Boston was better at free throws. They was actually 76%. Why the Timberwolves was at 52%. But Ant showed up in the overtime period and
Hey,
he showed
prove why
everybody,
he here.
yeah, why he's Ant. Why he's Ant. So jumping to one of my favorite games that we talk about is the Lakers versus the Rockets. LeBron James versus Dylan Brooks, your former favorite player. Um,
Nah, never said that.
the
Never said that.
Rockets 128 and the Lakers 94. This is embarrassing. I'm sorry. To me, this was the most embarrassing game of the week. To be honest with you,
You think so?
even though I think the Mavericks and the Clippers could be neck and neck, I had to give it this because I didn't expect them to lose by almost 30. Hold on, is that
Yeah,
almost
it was like 126, 128 to like 90 something.
94? Yeah, I did not expect them to lose almost 30 points with LeBron James on the court. I don't care if Anthony Davis not there. I didn't expect them to lose that. And what I have said, and I said this in Slash, I tweeted about this, and I always talked about this. Y'all overhyped this guy, Austin Reeves. Never thought I call him overrated Reeves. That's what my hashtag, overrated Reeves. I don't think he's him. And everybody made him. His ego got big, and
Mm.
now he's looking back like a average player. And I don't see it in him. And then he got all this hype. And then, see, that's what killed him. He got all this hype behind him. So he started walking around with his big ego. He went, and then he got jumped. He got put in the Olympics, well, FIBA, and he was showing off there. Now he coming to this season, and he letting D'Angelo Russell outwork him. So let's jump into this game. What do you think? I went sidetrack on that. What you think about Rockets versus Lakers game?
I mean, I would say the main thing that we could take away from that is I don't think people understand how much Anthony Davis is a defensive help, and he can get rebounds on that team. He's the main rebounder on that team. I'm not going to be relying on Christian Wood. I'm not going to be relying on Roy Hachimura. I'm not going to be relying on Jackson Hayes, who at that time I don't even think got to play in. They had no Davis and no Hayes, two of their bigs gone, and left it all to Christian Wood and maybe LeBron. And then I would say Roy Hachimura. I mean, they just got simply out rebounded. When you're getting out rebounded offensively and defensively, there ain't much you can do. With that, they also have no consistent scores. They have D'Angelo Russell, who had 22, and Austin Reeves had 7. He was 2 for 9, didn't make a single 3. But it's like that's the struggle that we have to deal with the Lakers, is they have no consistency on that team. You may get one from this game, and then you may get the other from this game. And I think that was just from a game that they just played. Everybody was hot. I mean, what are you going to do? Jabari Smith shooting 4 for 8. Sengun, 8 for 10. Jalen Green, 11 for 15. Jeff Green, 4 for 5. Jayshawn Tate, 6 for 10. Boban, who got only like 6 minutes, was 3 for 4. I mean, it's just they just got dominated. There's nothing they can really do.
You left out the key factor. Dylan Brooks, he locked down LeBron James
for like one play. One play.
Dylan Brooks said he got in LeBron James' head.
I mean, he shot 7 for 13 and 4 for 5 from 3 throw. I don't think he got in his head. Now, I will say they scored on him a lot. I mean, he's not able to move as much as he is, but I mean, that's been LeBron for the past 3 years, so you can't really say that.
It's bad right now that Rockets have a better record than Lakers. That beside. I mean, because nobody.
I'm not gonna say it's bad, because Rockets are 10 times deeper than the Lakers. Just because they picked up Taurean Prince, Christian Wood, don't mean they were necessarily better than most teams. That just better pickups from what they needed. I mean, in that game, it was just bad. But I mean, Fred VanVleet, or are you taking D'Angelo Russell? Jalen Green, or are you taking Austin Reeves? Sengun, or are you taking Davis? You know, there's only LeBron and Davis. Outside of that, that team is the worst team in the history of the NBA right now. You take out LeBron and AD, that team is terrible.
Hold on. I'm going to take D'Angelo Russell on Fred over Fred. I'm just
crazy.
I'm just messing with you.
They say you crazy.
But no, I did say, looking at the rebounds, you're absolutely correct. 57 total rebounds for 34. Good God Almighty. The Lakers even trying to get in the rebounds in that game. Let's move on to another Lakers game, which I was very disappointed that the Suns did not pull this out. The Suns versus the Lakers, and if I'm not mistaken, that game didn't go to overtime, did it? It didn't go to overtime. That game.
Which game? So, Lakers or Suns? I don't think that game went into overtime.
Okay, I know the final score was 122 to 119. I think KD set out a little bit too long in the fourth quarter, to be quite honest, because when the Lakers started going on a run, I felt like at that stage KD should have, get late, because that was the play-in tournament game. So I felt like he should have stepped back on the court a little bit sooner. They probably should have reduced his playing time a little bit more in the second quarter to save more time for the fourth quarter, because that's when you're going to need Kevin Durant the most. But he dropped 38 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. LeBron James had 32 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1 steal in that game versus the Suns. The Suns shot for 44%. The Lakers shot 50%. So out free throws, and they almost Lakers went to the free throw line 34 times, made 26. Suns went 27 times, made 20. Rebounds almost not that bad, not that much difference, 52 to 43. So, you know. How you feel about this game?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. So far, speaking on, I mean, the in-season tournament so far is looking good. I mean, this is one. I think this was actually very competitive, and we were able to see what some of the playoff rotation will look like. And I don't think it was too bad. My biggest problem with Phoenix is to this day, since the past, even before they had Kevin Durant, is defense. They play no defense. They allow too many points to other teams, and they allow other people to score that shouldn't be scoring. There's no reason for why Cam Reddish should have 17 points when he's not even really getting consistent minutes, and that was probably one of his best games. Roy Hachimura got 7. Austin Reeves still got 15, 35. But then, Suns got to stay healthy. The way it's looking, it's like Suns ain't going to never be healthy because it's a matter of time when Kevin Durant's going to get injured. Not, God forbid he doesn't. But Devin Booker hasn't been playing consistent, and Bradley Beal hasn't been playing consistent. And you're relying on Eric Gordon and Grayson Allen as your main scorers on that team. Luckily, with KD in there, you're going to get everything from KD. But after a while, they're going to figure it out. Teams are going to figure out how to guard that team, because they play no defense. So it's like they're going to be able to catch back up. And I think this is one of those games where it's just like, this is what I think I'm going to see in the playoffs. Suns are not going to play no defense. They're going to be great offensively, but defensively, they're just not going to be there.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting season. I'm looking forward to seeing when we actually get a chance to see the new Big Three on the court together as a whole. Devin Booker, Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant. They've been relying a lot on Kevin Durant at the beginning of the season. He's been playing his butt off, and a lot of minutes carrying his team. And disappointing the 2 losses they had against the Spurs, which was a shocker that they lost both. I mean, blew the lead and lost both games. I'm not as shocked they lost one, but to lose both. And then, if I'm not mistaken, both was at home too. So that's another thing. The Suns almost looking like the down Golden State from last year when they was on the road, but the Suns looking like they're at home right now.
Yeah,
Can't win
which
a
ain't
game.
good. You got to
Not
win
good
home
at
games.
Got to win home game. And the last game we will reflect on this past week is the game of the week. Uh, the Mavericks versus the Clippers. Once again, James Harden touched the floor and was a non-factor in that game because they let Luka Doncic drop 44 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists on majority of points was probably on Harden's head. And Kawhi Leonard had 26 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. Um, let's look at it. Let me see these stats real quick. The Clippers, they shot 48%, not bad. Dallas shot 52%. 3-point percentage is pretty bad. 29% for the Clippers, 45 for the Mavericks. Rebounding, they was neck and neck, 47-41. The Clippers out rebound though.
As they should.
They should, but blocks, I mean assists, they killed them on assists, of course, because they got Luka on the team, 30-21. So let's discuss how you feel about this game.
What more is it to say? Luka's still their daddy. Like, Luka hasn't had a bad game against Clippers almost never, and he still dominates them no matter who they have on. They had all 3, it wouldn't even matter. Luka owns them. I mean, they play great defense against this team. I don't know what it is, but if you ask me, Clippers or Dallas Mavericks with Luka on it in a 7-game series, I'm still gonna pick the Dallas Mavericks. I think with the James Harden, it slowed the pace down, and the only reason I think that they were able to keep up is because they had to keep up the faster pace with Dallas, but they allowed way too many points in that second quarter. They had 47 points in the second quarter, and then backed it up with 230-plus point quarters in the first and the third. So it's like, we got to play defense. That's the main thing. Play defense. It's still early for the Clippers, and I mean, James Harden, we're gonna keep blaming you, considering that you didn't go to any training camp, you didn't practice, you didn't do anything. So it's like, now you're coming to a team that needs you.
Let's say to James Harden for his segment because he got a special side. I was trying to get James to be on the show, but he declined it. because I wanted to see what he wanted to talk about. But it was a disaster. I watched that game and I'm like, okay. They looked decent outside 10. They just Luka just started going off, and it was looking like the energy wasn't there. They didn't play as a team. It was I flipped the channel. I said, I don't want to see this no more. Now I finally seen the score. I like, wow, okay. I'm glad I flipped the channel. And then when Luka dropped all those points, man, we go jump on the clip down. We got more. We got to talk more about the clip. But like I said, that look disappointed with that game. Thought they could have performed. Really came out a little bit harder and played a little bit better. But they saying it was the third game with James, so we got to get used to playing with James Harden. But I forgot. I thought James Harden was in great top condition to play. But that's what they all say, just so they go on.
No, he didn't play no preseason, no training camp, no nothing.
I thought right now, I think when we about to jump on that, I think Daryl Moore is probably pretty happy with his trade right now. He'd be like, yeah, he said we got out of that one good. So let's jump on to the Harden Clippers debut, the topic of the hour. So, of course, we know that they did make the trade. James Harden's officially a Clipper, and of course, PJ Tucker came along with him. They traded, and I don't have my list.
Nicholas Batum, Marcus Morris, and Robert Covington.
I knew you got my back on that. Yeah. So let's jump into the first thing. Is this collaboration working?
You want the simple answer or the long answer? Because the simple answer is no.
Okay, let's go. Let's dive a little bit into this. I'm gonna give no. I don't think it's going to work. I said, and I talked about this on my show. I said, I'm not my show. I'm sorry. In my article when I was breaking down the trade between the two, I don't think it's working. Is it gonna be a headache? It's looking like it right now. Do I feel like they could change course if they make a switch to the lineup? I do. But I'm gonna let you dive into it first. Do you feel like the collaboration is working or not? And you go into detail on it.
No, absolutely not. James Harden's play style, which was at his best, his peak, was in Houston when he had the ball majority of the time in his hands. Clippers were doing very well of distributing the ball to where anybody could potentially score. You could have games where Norman Powell pop off. You could have games where Russell Westbrook pop off. You could have games where Paul George and Kawhi could pop off. Normally, those are the main scores, which means they just took the most shots, but they didn't have the ball in their hands majority of the time. And with James Harden on any team, he has to have the ball in his hands in order to produce. It's very difficult for him to be a pop up shooter or a spot up shooter or just get into the lane, get a shot up. It's like he has to hold the ball in his hands. Even looking at today against Memphis, James Harden shoots a three, misses. They get the rebound, pass it back. James Harden drives in, gets his stuff sent by Bismack Biyombo. Now that you got two back to back, but you wasted two possessions from bad shooting instead of giving somebody else the opportunity to try to score and make a play. And that's where I think the collaboration is going to work. And Russell Westbrook is a fast-paced player, and you put a slow-paced, ball-dominant player with that team. Now you have to slow the game down for them, and they're not a slow-paced game. They're not a slow-paced team. They never have been.
Right. Hold on. I was just my bad. I was looking at something.
You good?
Yeah. So I was hoping. I'm gonna just be honest. I was hoping the Clippers wasn't going to push this trade too quick. I was hoping they're gonna wait a little bit longer because, as I said in my article, the chemistry right now with the Clippers is pretty good. Like, just like the way they playing, Russ been playing well, Kawhi been playing every game, Paul George been playing every game. The chemistry that they had a great bench player. Terrence Mann, what Terrence Mann? Yeah, Terrence Mann was doing good. Was he the starter? Hold on, was it Bones Highland? Terrence Mann. It was one to two.
It was Terrence Mann. He was injured for a bit. Mainly, it was Terrence Mann.
But they was working well together. It was a great chemistry amongst the two. They was on the road. They were winning game. They were dominated. And soon as the black cloud comes to the team, everything changes. Then also we hear, oh well, he just needs time to. He need like 10 games. No, you don't. No. It shouldn't. You shouldn't need 10 games. I can see you needing a few games, not 10 games. You should be. He. This was my issue. Harden said he is the system. He don't play a system. He is the system. So if you are the system, why do you need 10 games? Why do someone need 10 games if you are the system? You don't need a system automatic. You flip a switch on, a system works. The fits on one end, the fits on one end to a system, then you gotta prepare. You gotta work through it. But if you are the system, just flip a switch, turn it on. You the system, you're supposed to work. It's not working. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Just be quite honest. I mean, they trying their best on this, but let's dive into my article. And I want to touch on the end. And I was saying that the critical question is whether Harden can adapt to his new situation and contribute positively to Clippers' quest for an NBA championship. That's the question. And how I feel, I said, and you probably remember when I read this, I said, I feel like in light of the potential chemistry issue that could arise from incorporating Harden to the starting lineup, there is compelling argument for Harden to embrace a bench role. And Eddie Johnson on his show said the same thing. He felt like Harden should go to the bench and he'd come off the bench with them players because bringing Russ to the bench probably would bring down, change Russ' attitude because Russ been playing so well. He's been very efficient with his
Mhm.
passes and scoring so far. Now you put him on the bench and you let somebody who just came to the team, who jumped from team to team to team over the last 3 years, and you go bring him and say, hey, you know what, Russ, you've been working hard. Russ, you've been working real hard this year. But you know what? We're gonna put you on the bench. We're gonna let Harden start because he just came on the team and he making more money than you. And he's James Harden because he's the system. Bullshit. You could chime in on that. I would just had to get out.
I mean, no, that's what it is. Even on like I said, that last game, you sit Russell Westbrook down for James Harden, and I know they probably say it's on a turnover basis, but Russ has always been doing that, and they were doing just fine before that. Now, granted, I have had some arguments saying that, well, they didn't really play anybody in the first 3 games when they won those 3 games before James Harden came, but at the end of the day, it's still they've been working together since the preseason of understanding how we're going to mix it, how we're going to do it, go on and so forth. And even when Tyronn Lue, when the trade did happen, he said, "Do you know where Harden's going to go? Do you know he's going to play him off the bench? He's going to do this, go do that?" And he simply said, "I don't know." So it's like now with the change, you're changing a pace, which means you have to change lineups. And right now, I don't think it's working. We'll see 10 games from now, maybe 15 games from now, if it does start to mesh together. But we got to ultimately look at the playoffs and see if that's going to translate to them winning games. I don't see James Harden really pushing them to the maximum capacity of what they can really be with this team right now. I don't think he was a great fit, but I think, you ask somebody to add another 20-point scorer with gets 5 rebounds, 5 assists, they're going to take that any day, regardless of the name of who that is. And I think that's the decision they decided to make to see, hey, we're going to figure it out at some point. Same way Philadelphia did. And we see how that turned out.
My thing is how I want to say on this real quick. I would love to know what the players are saying to each other after losing 4 games in a row. Outside not talking to James when they have a one-on-one conversation. I would love to be able to listen to what Terrence Mann and Terrence Mann and Bones Highland and all the role players are saying to each other outside behind closed doors when James not present. Because I don't think it's a good conversation. I think a lot of people are very upset. I want to know what Tyronn Lue saying right now behind closed doors about James Harden being on the team. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't really think he was happy about having James Harden on the team.
Probably not.
Because I think how they were playing, he probably happy that they were having success and they was competing. And I remember listening to NBA radio and um Justin Termini was saying that he felt like they didn't have a chance to win with the roster they had, but adding James Harden and get them a better chance. I disagree. I thought they had a good chance with the roster they had because I think they had a great bench. I think they had great starters. I just think the issue was that it was the health issue. I think if they stayed healthy all year and when it came to playoff time, I think they had a great chance of competing and probably making to the NBA final because I think they had a very balanced team, well-rounded team compared to what the Lakers got over there, to be completely honest.
I can agree for the most part.
Let's jump into this video. So we go jump into the video of the Dallas Mavericks announcer going in on James Harden, which I promise you this is gonna be on repeat for a while because I love what he said. So we're gonna take a look at this, then me and you go dissect what he said.
This into the Clippers locker room. If I can talk to you, James, I hope you're taking notes. I'm telling you in advance, you're welcome for the wisdom I'm about to spew. Because listen, I get on my knees every night and pray for someone to believe in me like Daryl Morey believed in you. You wanted a certain coach, they brought in Mike D'Antoni. You want to play a certain style, they played it. You wanted Dwight Howard, they brought him in and got rid of him when you were tired of him. You wanted Chris Paul, they brought him in and got rid of him when you were tired of him. They brought in your old friend Russell Westbrook. You want to go to Vegas on off days? They looked away. You wanted the team to stay over so you could go out at night. They changed the schedule, and it didn't work. And you know what? You said, I'm going to break up with my whoopee. Not good enough. I see the bright lights in New York. I want to go there. My old pal, Kevin Durant. It's going to work. The big three. And all after 1 year, you wanted out. You realized, oh my gosh, I took this guy for granted, the guy that believed in me. I went back with Daryl Morey. They traded Ben Simmons for you. How did they pull that off? And you know what? You went there and you got a partner. Got the MVP. He won the MVP. And what did you say afterwards? You said, they didn't hand me the reins. You're the point guard. You were holding the reins. And what did you do when you had the reins? You scored 9 points in Game 7 against Boston. You blew a 3-2 series lead. So they fired their coach. Not good enough. You broke up with the guy who believed in you again. You said, the bright lights of L.A., that's where I want to go. Let's see if that works. Listen, James, have you ever had those friends who had bad roommates? Over and over, they complained about their bad roommates. This guy's terrible. The bad roommate here. They never thought to be self-aware enough that they're the bad roommate. They're the problem. Hey, James, you're the problem. If this doesn't work this year in this system with this team, then you're going to go and point fingers at everybody else, and you're going to go back home and you're going to start swiping right for another team, and there's not going to be anybody left. Because, James, you're not the beard, you're not the system, you're the problem.
Oh, and the mic drop, Devin.
Man, when I say I heard that, man, I was like, who give this guy a raise? Who is this guy? Cause
he hit it spot on. I mean, spot on. That man going off of James Harden, because I mean that's the truth. You've been on so many teams, had so many opportunities. Your names are always in the talks of every team you've been on. And it's always, oh, it was Kyrie and his shenanigans. Oh, it's always Kevin Durant not being healthy. Oh, then you go over here, Russ. Oh, Chris Paul being injured, and he's the locker room problem. And before that, it was even problem with KD and Russ and the Thunder. That was you wanted to get paid because you felt like you need to get paid, and they said no, not right now. And so you left. And then here it is at the Sixers. Now Joel Embiid's the problem. Got the MVP. Oh, the coach is the problem. Oh, now we're at the LA. What's the problem for the 0-4 start now? Now it's not the problem. It's just I, not the team. I haven't had no training camp. I haven't played no preseason. I haven't done anything, and you're at your team is 0-4 now. It's you.
It's James. It's always been, and I always told everybody. I think, man, we don't had it. I had that conversation. We talked about it back in Houston Day. I told everybody, James Harden is an all-star during the regular season, a regular player during the playoffs. Like he doesn't show up at the playoffs. And James Harden slowly has declined over the years. His athleticism, his shooting ability, his talent has declined. He was so focused on wanting to win a scoring title, he wasn't focused on winning a championship. James Harden wanted all the money. He didn't want the ring. If he wanted the ring, he would have played the right kind of basketball. Kobe said it best himself. The way James Harden played basketball is not winning a championship. And I believe that wholeheartedly. James Harden forced his way out of Houston. James Harden forced his way out of Brooklyn. James Harden
OKC
forces
too.
OKC. He forced his way out of the 76ers. He has been with KD and Russ. If he would have stayed there, it could possibly been won a championship. But no, he wanted more money. He went to Houston. He got what he wanted. Congratulations. He got people what he wanted. Like the guy said, he got what he wanted in Houston. Didn't work. Out that forced me out the door. He went to Brooklyn, wanted to play the big three. He couldn't get along with Kyrie. I can understand in a certain way the reason why, but it's another time you complain again. Now you went to 76. You went one of the top 3 players in the league. Joel Embiid, the MVP. Y'all had a great team, great supporting cast. Tyrese Maxey, great team, great supporting cast. Y'all fail. You blame it on the coach. You get him fired, then you have to get traded. How you get Doc Rivers fired? You know, you both thought we should get fired.
I'm about to say, I mean,
I gotta say that. But
I said that combo is the bad combo, boy.
Right. And now you with the Clippers. What you want? You want Ty Lue to get fired? What you want? You want to trade Kawhi Leonard? Trade Russ? You can go in and say, hey, I gotta trade them. I want to go. It's not gonna work. I'll tell you right now, he doesn't realize, but he's on thin ice right now. They watching him. The owner's watching him. I wrote about this in my article. They're watching him to see if he's going to be an issue. If James Harden fuck this up, and yes, I said it, fuck this up, he would not be playing in the NBA next year unless he's on a non-contender team. He's not going to be on a contender team. I can tell you, it's going to be a low team. He's going to be somewhere like, and I don't think they'll take him, somewhere like Portland or somewhere the Charlotte Hornets or somewhere on the, he would be he'd be somewhere where a team is not competing for an NBA championship. That's the only way.
Or if he is on there, I'm about to say now, if he is on one of those teams, he should be coming off the bench. And I think that's just how it's going to be. From now on, James Harden will probably, if he's on a contending team, you will be the second leading guy off the bench, working for 6th man of the year or something of that nature. And if they need you for towards the end of the game, that's probably it. Because you don't play defense either. So it's like towards the end of games, I don't even know how you make it to the end of the games. Even if it's scoring, you're not the scorer you used to be. And simply because the system isn't you. So
yeah,
it's going to be definitely something that it's James Harden. He's the issue. I don't think he's on his way to out the league, but I definitely think he's out of superstar max type contracts, superstar contracts, superstar status. I think you're going to be role player or starter. It's going to be one of those two. And that starters unlimited.
I'm going to say this. I don't think he's on his way out the league unless he has a bad season. He has a bad season this year. I don't see no one, because if he's not doing anything, he's seen like another problem with the Clippers. No, I don't see him on the team this year. I'm sorry. If he become another issue, because people gonna look at him, because you gotta realize nobody wanted to trade for him. No team wanted James Harden. No team.
Well, I think nobody's gonna give up anything for him. They'll pay for him. I think they'll pay for him. I just don't think they're gonna give up anything.
20 million?
Yeah, no, probably not 20 million. Not even 20 million. He'll probably get like 12 to 15 max, because James Harden is good enough he's still better than your average point guard in the NBA. Don't get me wrong there, except you need to have a supporting cast that can play great defense and that is willing for him to have the ball in his hands, and they play better without the ball in their hands. And the most teams that do that are young teams. These newer, older teams, they don't need you to have the ball in their hands. We see how Philly is thriving, as I've been saying, with Tyrese Maxey, he needs to have the ball in his hands, and James Harden can play off ball. And right now, they're sitting at A&O with Tyrese Maxey tonight hitting 45 points or 40 points a night. And it's like, you could have been doing exactly what you've been doing if you would have just played a little bit off ball or came off the bench. James Harden is not willing to do that. He's stubborn, and that's what's going to get him out the league. You can come off the bench.
He has no say so over that. He can call the bench right now, because the thing about it is, people got to realize Ty Lue has to change his lineup. The lineup has to be changed. They can't play all 4 of them together. You got to keep him how they was. I think put Terrence Mann back in that number 2 spot and have James come off the bench. And the thing about it is, Ty Lue don't have to worry about it, because James is he's on probation right now. So if he act the fool, this is the reason why I'm saying that I feel like possibly he could be out the league because he acting a fool. If he act the fool and other teams see that, they're gonna be like, okay, so you act the fool in Houston, you act the fool in Brooklyn, you act the fool in 76ers, you act the fool in down Clippers, and you was on the Ty Lue, and you still do this. So what makes us think you're not gonna do the same thing when you come over here to us? So if he do possibly get a chance to play on another team, he gonna have a 1-on-1 deal. It ain't gonna be no 2-year deal. It's gonna be 1 year and team option the second year. Ain't gonna be no player.
Mhm.
It's gonna be a team option. That's the only way. Regardless of how this season go, that's the only way I see him still playing. It's gonna be a 1-and-1 deal. It ain't gonna be no 2-year guarantee, 2-year and third-year option. It'd be 1-and-1 with me. It's 1 year, full year, and the second year gonna be team option because I will want to see how you're gonna play. That's just me.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, it's gonna be tough. Like I said, I still think he has a chance. I don't think he has a chance anymore to be a superstar if this year does not go back up. Like get that type of status. I think no other team's gonna want you to be their superstar guy anymore and not consider you a superstar if it doesn't work after this year. And I mean, you're talking about you switch from the East to the West, which is going to be a lot more difficult to even get to the playoffs alone. Good luck. That's all I'm gonna say. Good luck.
So let me ask you a question. Adding James to his team, if this team by chance fall into a play-in category, you think James still got an opportunity to go somewhere else and play? If he turned the team around, like the team really struggled the whole season, even with James come off the bench, and they fall into a to a play-in team spot, you think he'll still have a chance to play in the league?
I mean, yeah, I think he'll still have a chance to play in the league. I mean, like I said, he's still better than your average point guard. I mean, hell, Memphis played Jacob Gillespie. Gilliard, do you know who he is? No. Memphis is 108. You think we would complain if we couldn't get job back or Steven Adams to have like a James Harden? No, we would need that because we're bad. Same with some of these other teams that aren't doing anything. So I think he's potentially there. It's just you think I'm going to give up Jaren Jackson for you? You think I'm going to give up Desmond Bain? You think I'm going to give up Brandon Ingram? Who we're not willing to give up anybody for you, which means your value is very limited. I think that's how they're looking at it when it regards to trading. Why no other team wants you because we're not giving up anything for you, not knowing what we're going to get back in return. No different than how it was with Kyrie. Kyrie, no other team wanted him as well, but Dallas is like, hey, we're making it work. We're 7-1 right now. We're actually looking good. We're healthy.
But
Difference is James Harden.
Only thing I can say about that, Kyrie could still play.
I mean, James Harden's not doing terrible now. We're not going to act like he's doing terrible. He ain't doing terrible now. James Harden ain't doing terrible now. He's just not playing what he needs to play to get the win, but he's playing good.
For me, the way James Harden playing, he ain't playing good. I feel like he
like that. Look, 15-5-5, that ain't bad. It's just not superstar.
Yeah, but
that's rough stats.
But you're not playing good defense, which erase that. No. So it's not you're not doing, even though he's not known for playing defense. It's just like
I'm about to say that's what you're getting out of James Harden defense.
But he has been a headache more than help on the team. All right, man. Let's move on because we spent enough on that loser on James Harden. Let's jump on. I'm just he NBA player. I'm just saying. Don't worry. A new article will probably come out on James. I probably won't be as long, but I got some stuff I want to say about his start with the Clippers. Let's jump on to the rookies right now. So we're gonna start off with the number 1 overall pick in the NBA, and I know I'm gonna mess up this last name, but I'm gonna try. Victor Wembanyama.
There you go, Wembanyama.
I got it close. I was close.
You good? You good?
Averaged 19.9 points per game, 8.6 rebounds, which I expect need to be higher, and 2.6 blocks in 9 games so far this season. He has a great start. Love the energy. Let's talk about it. You jump into him first.
Okay, I mean, what more do you need to say about Wembanyama? Wembanyama is playing. Wembanyama is playing like I ain't never seen a 7-footer play a day in my life. The man is strictly like once I seen him play against Toronto and he's guarding Dennis Schroeder full court. What more can you ask for this man? This man is what I think every single NBA coach wants, ideally, is a 7-footer that can just do it all, because this man's doing it all. You want defense, he plays defense. You want offense, he plays offense. There's not much you can say or flaws you can really say about Wembanyama. And it's a reason why if he's getting blown out, he's not going to sit there and play a whole bunch of games. That's not what they don't want him to get injured or anything of that nature. So it's like he's getting the minutes. He's playing really, really good. We just need to see a little bit more consistency outside of that. But I mean, outside of that, he's practically doing everything we expected and more. I mean, the man is averaging a little less than 2 or 3 turnovers as a main ball handler for that. I mean, not main ball handler, but main usage player on that team, while still getting at some games 4 to 5 blocks per games. In some of those games, he was also have beat Phoenix back to back. One with Devin Booker and one without Bradley Beal. And of course, outside of that, they did lose to Clippers pretty bad. They did lose to Toronto, Indiana, New York, and I think Minnesota. But they're definitely a sleeper team. I don't think this year they're going to be, someone that we have to be fearful of. But with Wembanyama, he's everything. He's number one. He's number one. He's number one. No questions if ands about it. And he's playing like he's number one. We haven't seen this ever. Not a 7-footer. And I know some people like to compare Bobo. Bobo has had certain opportunity. He's had good spurts, but not on a consistent level as Wembanyama. I don't think we're going to get that. This is his first year.
Are you trying to take a shot at my post about that?
What, Bobo?
Yeah, when I said about Bobo, I said what Shaq said. I kind of agree with him. Somebody, I didn't say what I was saying is I didn't say they was on the same skill, like they talent, same skill level, but we have seen someone that size that can handle the ball, and everybody got to realize when I said about Bobo and Chat said it, y'all got to realize Bobo kind of went on decline after that injury, that foot injury. He was never the same after that. Before that, he was good. Once he had that injury, things changed. And talk about the argument me saying that, of course, when you quote Gilbert Arenas podcast show, I lose. I kind of want to tune you out because Gilbert Arenas probably one of the worst podcast shows out there. Like he say stuff just to get people to do clicks, and like him, I'm gonna be honest, him and
he speaks back sometimes now.
No, every blue moon, but he say stupid stuff like the things he says. We see this. Let me tell you that. Let me rephrase it. He says probably facts on something, but his stupidity outweighs the facts. So when your stupidity outweighs the facts, same thing with JJ Redick. His stupidity outweighs his facts to me. That's why I don't like neither one of them. Don't Jesus. When they podcast, I don't like neither one of them. To me, JJ Redick is like that angry old white man. That's what he is. He's like that. He's angry. He's always like he's bitter. Like his conversations are very bitter. The way his tone comes across as bitter, and I don't like it. So that's the reason why. And then he says stupid stuff. So I like a lot of people, other podcasts, I think are fabulous, awesome, and stuff like that. Stephen A. Smith, I like here. It's quite a few. I even like Shannon Sharp, and I'm not a big fan of Shannon Sharp, but I like all their podcasts. But those two, I'm not. I like Paul George. Paul George to me is very unbiased. He's probably one of the most unbiased podcast shows I've seen out there. So there's a lot of them I like. But JJ Redick and Gilbert, whole nother topic. We could talk a whole nother show. But who we talking about? I got Bobo. I wasn't saying they was on the same skill level because Bobo's nowhere near the talent level as Victor. I was just saying the size because I seen highlights. I seen Bobo play. He knocked down threes. He got handled the ball. So we have seen that before, but we just now have seen it to the level of Victor. That's what I was trying to say. So people who was out there saying, "Oh, you're comparing the two, you're saying they're on the same level." No, they're not on the same level. We all know they're not on the same level. Nowhere near the talent.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's almost in the same of Grant Hill and LeBron. When Grant Hill first came into the league, he was the first forward / kind of guard that could do almost everything that most forwards couldn't do. And it was like more of like he's not on the level of LeBron, but as sad to say, as Gilbert Arenas said, y'all couldn't even handle Grant Hill when he first came in the league. Y'all didn't know what to do with this man. Then LeBron came in, and it was just like there is nothing. You can't physically stop this man coming into the league, dropping 23 points per game, averaging about 5 assists. You can't do nothing about that, whether you like him or not. As a rookie, he's averaging 20 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, and probably a little. I mean, he's averaging more than that either way, with at least a block and a steal. There's nothing you can do about that. And Victor's kind of like Bobo was like the first one where it's like, if Bobo can go out and hoop, there's nothing you can do about it. He's too tall. He shoots over you. He's in there for defense for the post. Not much. Now we got the full Victor Wembanyama where like, hey, this is what we thought Bobo could potentially turn into, but this is on another level. That's Victor. There's 7'3". There's not much you could do. I mean, he's shooting over KD. KD's 7 foot alone. There's not much you can do. If you think a 6'5" guard is going to guard this guy or a 6'6" guy is going to guard him, good luck. Now he has undersized. I would say that's just one of his biggest flaws right now, where he's getting a booty a little bit. But even then, that's not even the biggest problem. I mean, like I said, they're containing him. They're watching him. If it's a blowout, they're not going to play him in the fourth quarter at all. They're not risking it because they understand the potential that this guy can bring. And if they can get a even better team, I think their team is already pretty decent. A better team around him, yeah, Victor's going to be a problem. He's a game changer.
My only concern, like what most people say, my only concern with Victor is he's too frail, and I just don't want. I just hate to see one day if he tries to block one of the power dunkers in the league and get hit pretty hard, and he go down and get an injury. That's my only That's my only thing that worries me about him. Cause Chet, at least Chet put on weight. Chet a little bit muscular, so I like that.
He put a little bit more weight this offseason.
A little bit more. So we go. So let's jump over to Scoot Henderson. He averaged 8.8 points per game, 4.6 assists, 2.2 rebounds, and 5 games with the Portland Trailblazers so far this year. What's your take on Scoot Henderson this year?
I mean, we really haven't seen too much from Scoot yet. We're still waiting to see when he's going to get in, because I mean, he's played only like the 7 games. So granted, that's still majority good. But we just got to see a little bit more. With Portland, what more do you expect?
Not much.
It's like they're still trying to figure out who they are. What are they going to do? Who's going to get in? Who's going to play? Who's going to do this? Since then, Scoot is being pretty consistent. He's averaged about the same amount of shots he takes. He's averaging about the same shot attempts he makes. He's averaging about the same amount of assists he's going to take. I mean, going to get if the guys can make their shots. And he's averaging about the same amount of points. I mean, he's doing his role. I think a lot of people are like, oh, we're getting this Russell Westbrook vibe. Can he come in and be that? Russell Westbrook took time too. It's going to take time. It's going to have to figure out where his strengths are, where his weaknesses are. Once we can kind of get a better of that, then we'll be able to understand, okay, how can we fully judge Scoot Henderson? We still need time to really see how he's going to do, as I expect most rookies. Even though most rookies have been playing the same amount of time as him, his position is a little bit more difficult to judge than it is for a small forward, power forward, center, shooting guard. This is a point guard lead dominant. Now it's becoming a little bit more to the bigger side, but still most of your, you still got Steph. As much as people don't call LeBron, he is a play initiator. He is the holding the ball majority of the time in his hands to run the offense. He's a point guard in a way. And you still got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander coming up, Luka, Kyrie. There's tons of guards. They're dominant. And he's got to kind of figure out how his style's gonna work, because he still has to. He still got to get the better at his shooting. I mean, I would expect at least 2 threes. He's gonna shoot the 3. If he can get a little bit more consistent, maybe shoot a little bit less threes, but they're gonna leave him open. So why not? But get to the foul line as well. That's another thing that I want to see from Scoot Henderson, is getting a little bit more, because I think he's an aggressive, but I think he's been kind of passive and letting other players get there still, because you still got Jeremy Grant, Shaedon Sharp, who are all supposed to be the superstars on the team. He's being pretty passive with letting those guys kind of get their shine, and I think eventually he'll run to him. But he's doing pretty good defensively, at least.
Eddie Johnson, I agree. One thing he had said, the 2 hardest positions to start on your career is the point guard and in the center. He said, the 2 hardest positions, because one is leading the team and the other one is basically defending the rim and the paint, and you got to take all the punishment inside the paint. So I think he has one of the hardest positions to come into the league, especially like all these elite point guards out there. He coming, because we already know he's physically fit already, a point guard, body, muscle tone, everything. We've seen him, his workout, his regimen. So I know he has the talent. We've seen what he did in the G League. He showed out there. Now we just want to see what he's going to do in the NBA, which I think it's a slow start, but I think he got great potential to be one of the best in the next couple of years. He gonna start trying to figure out, like you said, what's his position is, what his job to do on the team, what are they gonna need, especially with this team of Portland, because we're not expecting nothing on them. We're not expecting them to make the playoffs this year. We're not expecting them to make the play in. We don't even expect them to win the in-season tournament. We're just expecting to develop these young athletes to see what's going to happen in the next few years, because they do got some picks coming up, and they got opportunity in the next couple of years to turn this franchise around. So let's see what the owner going to do, because right now they're trying to get the keys to Scoop, and we're gonna see what's going to happen with that. All right, so next is Brandon Miller. He averaged 12.8 points per game, 4.2 rebounds, and 1.6 assists in 9 games so far this season. What are your takes on Brandon Miller?
I mean, Brandon Miller surprised me. I think he's doing a little bit better than what we expected. I didn't think he was going to be able to get the potential playing time with the guards they had. But I mean, with Terry Rozier out, he's able to really showcase his talent. And I mean, he's doing good. He was a great shooter at Alabama. And he's doing pretty good shooting in his game. I think he had a 21-point season high not too long ago. But outside of that, I mean, I think he's doing exceptionally well with his play style for the minutes he's getting and for the time he's being. I mean, hell, I think he's even worked his way to the starting when Gordon Hayward went down as well. And he was able to display that. I think it was against the Nets, if I'm not mistaken. But he was doing pretty good. And I think he's on track to be a pretty good starter, better than what I was expecting. But we got to see more. We've only less than 10 games in, so we got to see more in that. Once we see more, then we'll be able to judge him a lot better.
I'm going to be honest. I haven't heard of his name much this season so far. I get because it's Charlotte. So, I mean, nobody really talks about Charlotte. But I heard more of Scoot, and I heard more of Chet, and I heard more of Victor. Well, a lot more of Victor than Chet. But I haven't heard Brandon Miller name too much this season. I know part of it has to do with playing for Charlotte. But he has good numbers right now for a rookie season, for a rookie start. But I'm just surprised his name has been mentioned more.
Yeah, I mean, because he's one of the few rookies that got drafted pretty high that didn't get a starting role. So it's like with that, everybody else is getting starting role. So it's a lot easier to be like, okay, yeah, he's got potential, he got this. But other guys,
so let me ask you a question. I haven't watched. I'm be honest, I haven't watched no Charlotte game yet. He's not starting.
No, you got LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, then PJ Washington and Mark Williams. That's been their starting 5, and he's been coming off the bench as like the 7th man, 6th man, 7th man.
Okay. Now that explains a lot why I haven't heard his name, because he's not starting. Because I think if he was starting, I would heard his name a lot more. All right, so let's jump on to the last one. Chet Holmgren. He averaged 16.2 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 2.4 assists in 9 games. Which I gotta say, even though technically it's not his rookie season, but technically it is, because he got injured before the last season. He tried to challenge LeBron James at the rim, and LeBron said, "Welcome to the NBA." How you feel about his start so far?
I mean, it's Chet. It's kind of hard with him having a shy on the court. He's playing phenomenal. Shy is playing like a potential MVP candidate as well. But the difference is that Chet is they finally got a center that I think is actually doing pretty good of holding his own. But for the most part, I mean, Chet's still playing pretty good. He's pretty consistent. He even had a 24-point game against Golden State, as we figured, because Golden State has no bigs. I expect a little bit more from the rebounding side. He's definitely stepped it up since the first couple games. But I mean, now he's on his way on track to be a superstar, and that's what they're looking for at him. I don't expect none of these people to be superstars first year, as you shouldn't, but there's levels to it, and I think Chet is on the way to the level of being a superstar. He's playing like one. I mean, he's doing very, very well. Now he struggles a little bit against bigs, really big bigs. Like I think he struggled against Cleveland and Atlanta. No, Cleveland and Sacramento. Even though Sacramento doesn't really have bigs, but they got Sabonis, who's ball dominant and got size on him. Chet.
Then he struggled against Denver too.
Yeah, and I mean that's Jokic. Everybody's gonna struggle against Jokic. I'm sorry, you just want to take that one. But Yeah, I mean, outside of that, it's I think his biggest flaw is size. I think that's going to be his biggest flaw. He's not the average big guy, plus they're getting rid of the big guys. Besides, like I said, unless you're going to get a Jokic out of it or a Joel Embiid. But if not, then that's just going to take time. And I think he's on track to be deserved in the NBA.
Well, they are saying it right now. I mean, what I've seen in between Chet and Victor as rookie of the year right now. So it's between them two. That's the running.
Yeah, I think Victor got it so far.
I ain't gonna say I don't know. We gotta tell the season go because Chet been doing his thing. So I would give my take on about mid season. I ain't gonna do it too early because we never know what can happen. But
Yeah.
right now, we shall see because I'm still expecting to see my boy Scoot turning up a little bit more coming up the next couple weeks. So we'll definitely see what he made of. Hopefully, Brandon Miller get an opportunity, get a starting spot, or at least start some games and show what he made of. So let's move on to this our next topic, which is the NBA players. NBA players stepping it up this season. And when I say NBA players stepping, I mean the ones that are not more like the rookies, not the rookies, but the ones who've been around for a few years, last couple years, not the superstars, because we know they're supposed to step it up. So my first person I want to jump on, who has actually been one of my favorite in the NBA, even though his comments rubbed me the wrong way last season, but he kind of cleaned it up a little bit this past off season when he made a couple of statements and he talked about when he gave me his top 5 of all time when he left LeBron off the list. I was very well impressed with this guy, Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards averaged 27.9 points per game, 6.3 rebounds, and 5.3 assists in 8 games. To me, he is probably one of the leading candidates to me right now for most improved player of the season. What are your take on the great Ant-Man?
I mean, Ant-Man playing like he ready to win some games. He said he took what he heard from everybody last year and the year before that when they were in ties with Minnesota and Grizzlies with Ja, and he's sick of it. He wants to win. I think that's his main goal. And me personally, I feel like Anthony Edwards is a little too big to be in Minnesota, but if they can make it work, then hey, this will be it. And I think Ant is that guy to try to make it work with. They got him some Twin Towers out there. Granted, they're not the best defensively at Twin Towers, but they're definitely controlling the rebounds to give him the best opportunity just to score. And with that being said, I mean, Ant is playing phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal. The man is averaging 25 points per game almost. There's not much more. 27. So yeah, even then, he's almost averaging 30 points, which puts you in the elite super status in my book. If you can average 30 in the NBA, you're doing great. And he's doing absolutely great. And I think the Timberwolves, he's doing good. But like I said, I think he's a little big for his market. But if they can make it work, they can make it work.
Hey, Giannis bid for the Milwaukee market, but look, they made it work there because they looked at Milwaukee as a small market team, and everybody kept saying they said over the last few years before they won the championship that Giannis was leaving. That's all the rumors kept saying. Oh, he's leaving. He's going here. He's going to Giannis not staying there in Milwaukee. They're too small. He want to go to LA. He want to go to New York, which Giannis said he never said. He never brought this up. He never mentioned none of it.
I don't believe they said that.
Huh?
I said I don't believe they said that. They be lying.
Yeah, they always
say anything for clicks.
Say what?
I said it's anything for clicks. They'll say anything for clicks sometimes.
It's been like, yeah, all this. Well, reports are saying no report. Tell who your report. Tell us. I'll be wanting to say, can you tell us who your source is that told you this? If it's nothing negative, tell me who your source is. What source told you that Giannis said he don't want to play in Milwaukee anymore? Tell us your source. If you can tell me your source, shut up. That's all I say. Just shut up. If you can't tell me your source. Now, if it's something negative, of course you can't reveal your source because your source, he's done. But if it's something like, oh, he wants to go play in LA, that's not negative. That's just say he wants to go play in LA. Tell me your source. Tell me who said this. If you can't tell me who said this, shut up. So me saying that is, I mean, I agree with you. I think he's too big for Minnesota. But if they could make it work and they could build a team around him, I mean, so be it. I mean, he may well go ahead and stay there.
Yeah.
He's playing phenomenal. He's showing everybody why he's possibly win most improved player of the year. And in the next couple of years, he's gonna be MVP, and he possibly could be the face of the league, unless he got to worry about Victor. That's his issue, Victor. So we shall see. But I love his energy. I love the way he played. I don't know. You got the chance to see a little interview he did after he played against Boston. He said Jason Tatum was talking shit to him, and he called for ISO with guarding Anthony Edwards told him, I play defense.
Yeah.
He told Jason, I play defense. Don't get me twisted. Everybody else that play defense, I play defense. So like I said, Anthony Edwards has became one of my favorite players in the league right now. I love his energy. I love the way he playing. Not a fan of the Timberwolves, but he keep doing his thing. Okay, so this is the person you want to speak on. So I'm gonna let you talk on this first. Scottie Barnes. He averaging 20.2 points a game, 9.8 rebounds, and 5.8 assists in 9 games. Go ahead. I'll let you have the floor on this.
Listen, I'm gonna say this. They have putting Scottie Barnes as one of the lead ball handlers right now. Now, Toronto ain't doing too good, but I mean, look at the team. We haven't got Pascal looking the same right now. But outside of that, I mean, they're playing pretty good, and that mainly is because of Scottie Barnes. Without Scottie Barnes, I don't think they'll be able to do nothing. Scottie is that guy right now. He's that guy. They refuse to, at least on the I do sports, but at least on the sporting books, they refuse to give him his role of understanding this man is averaging about 33 points, rebounds, and assists combined, which is elite status. Jokic hits about 45 to 50. Luka hits about 45, 50, and he's sitting at 33, 34, averaging about 35. Man's playing like a superstar right now. Now, and his stats may not show it, but you got to watch him. Man's doing everything, getting rebounds, getting assists, getting steals, getting points on the board, averaging about 20. He's definitely stepping up from the role for that. We thought, Toronto was not going to do it. They got a new coach. They done lost Fred VanVleet. We didn't know what to expect, and they weren't looking too good towards the end of the season. But so far, they're looking decent, enough to be in the playoffs. But I love how the new coach has put his role more as a ball dominant, even though they have Dennis Schroeder out there still playing phenomenal. But I think Scottie's out there he's turning Toronto into something like, what, we can try to make this work with him if we can just build around him. And I think that's where the start is he's definitely had a big improvement this year.
Right. Did Scottie come in the league same time Ant came in?
Let me see, because he came.
Because this is Scottie's third year, right?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, this Ant.
So he might have came in the exact same as, if I'm not mistaken, as Ant.
Yeah,
not 100%.
I think they came in the league. I think they say because this is both their third year, because last year was their second, because it was their rookie year. Because who won rookie doing did Melo win the rookie?
Yeah, Melo won the rookie of the year.
And the rookie, this Melo third year right now into the league. Okay, so last year rookie of the year was who? I don't remember. It got pop in our head in a second.
Was it Paolo? I think it was Paolo.
Yeah. Paolo. And then see, so that was So because Melo, that was Melo's second year, and that was Ant's second year and Scottie's second year. So
it should have been Chet that year, but it ended up being injured. So
yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. If you had you're going to pick one right now to be on your team, who would you pick? Ant or Scottie?
Oh, Ant, hands down. I mean, the offense and the potential defense there. I'm taking Ant. Ant's superstar in my book. Okay.
So the third person we're going to speak on is Tyrese Maxey, who, man, I know this dude like James Harden.
Man.
Give me the rings. Give me the key. Because he took on the man averaging 25.9 points, 7.5 assists, and 5.3 rebounds in 8 games. Man, Tyrese, they didn't need James Harden. They got Tyrese. They don't need James at all. I love Tyrese. Man. I love his energy. I love the way he plays. He never looks mad, ever. The man plays happy. He probably playing happy now because he said James Harden's gone. So I can play my game. Philadelphia has looked so much better.
They're faster paced. Well, actually, they're slow, but they're not as slow as they were with James Harden. It's not just back when James Harden was there. It was just James Harden and Joel that you had to run between those two. Whoever was going to run between those two were going to win. And now you got Tyrese actually sharing the ball, getting Tobias involved, who's there. You got Kelly Oubre now, came off his 21-point season, averaging about 16. You got I can't even think of his darn name. D'Anthony Melton coming in, and even Paul Reed when he's playing with Tyrese Maxey plays phenomenal off the bench, and they don't miss a step as they go. If Joel's in there, he controls the game. You give it to him. If Tyrese is in there, he can get other guys involved to keep the lead ahead, and which is keeping the games very competitive. While other teams may have a strong starting five and a bad bench, like Boston, or they may have a great bench, but the starting five doesn't proceed, like the Bulls, and it's just like they got it figured out right now. They know they already knew what they did. They just added. Take off James Harden, gave the ball to Tyrese as they been should have done, and they're letting it ride.
Right. And like I just said, he's proven right now that he's a true starting point guard, that he can actually be almost elite. He's right now, he's not on elite, he's on elite, but he's not an all-star caliber right now, but he has a
He is in
potential.
my book.
What, all-star?
40 points tonight. 40. He's been capable of averaging 30.
The only reason why I can't say all-star because I could think you got the only reason I said that is because I could think of probably two other point guards right now in the East that's better than him. That's the reason why. Because there's only two point guards that are gonna really technically make it in the East. I mean, even though I know technically it's point positionless, but if I could think of a couple other point guards right now, but I put him as elite, one of the top point guards in the league right now. So one of the top point guards in the East right now. So I mean, he's killing now. Like I said, I love the energy. I love the way he play. I love the way that chemistry between him and his team is no bickering, it's no arguing. He knows his position. He knows his role. Is no, I need the ball. I have to have the ball. He can play off the ball. He can play on the ball. He can play defense. He's very aggressive. It's the type of player that you wish James Harden would have been. If you could give if you could take how Tyrese plays and give it to James Harden be still the same player he was back in Houston. But unfortunately, he can't. So I would take Tyrese over James Harden all day. No questions asked.
Yeah.
No questions asked on that. No questions. Last player we're gonna jump on is Tyrese Haliburton. Has averaged 23.6 points per game, 11.6 assists, and 4.3 rebounds. And that's the reason why I say another person. That's what I would take Tyrese. I love Tyrese Maxey, but I got to go with I take the Pacers Tyrese a little bit more. He's facilitating the ball more. He working with less talent than Philly, and he's proven that his potential to be selected as an all-star this year, which I got a good feeling that he will be on the all-star team this year.
I mean, I don't know why. I'm gonna be honest, Kings gave him up for nothing. But it was the best thing that's happened to Indiana because they were looking mediocre. And they're still looking mediocre, but at least now they got promise and talent that could probably help them. And they have enough trading pieces to get even better. And with Tyrese Haliburton, it's looking like I can do it all. You know, he can play. The defense is a little lack, but you know, he's still getting there offensively. He can still average 20 points a game, and he can still average over 10 assists, which is the second highest. Which is the highest actually right now. I think if he's number one leading in assists in the entire NBA. And they're winning games, you know, and not to the best ability, but they're winning games, and I think that's great. And Tyrese Haliburton he's doing it now. That's all I can say. If they could just win some games, I mean, he'll definitely be in some of the talks of one of the best point guards in the league right now. But outside of that, I mean, what Tyrese Haliburton, he was doing almost the same thing last year, and they were looking on track to go on the playoffs before he got injured. He missed like 25, 30 games last year. If they didn't, they probably would be looking in the playoff last year and probably would have gave some problems to other teams. But right now, they're looking pretty good with Tyrese Haliburton. I mean, he's hooping. I don't understand how some of the games they lose. The only problem that I have with them is they allow too many points for other teams. I mean, you looking in the past against the Wizards, Wizards get 120 points, Cavaliers 113, the Bulls 112. The Celtics 155, Cavaliers 116, Hornets 125, Spurs 111, Jazz 130, 118. Like they're giving out a lot of points to other teams, and I think that's just the lack of the defense. And part of that is because of Tyrese Haliburton. But outside of that, he's still playing phenomenal. No hate towards him at all.
Right. Okay, but like I said, Pacers are the surprising team because I don't know if anybody really had them high on the list. I could see them possibly finishing in the top 6 in the East. I could definitely see them finishing if they keep playing the way they playing in the top 6, especially when they had a high scoring game against Boston. I'm like 100. Both teams dropped like 140, 150 points in that game. It's pretty high scoring. Yeah, high scoring game. So I could see that being a very they have opportunity being making a top making the top 6 in the conference. Okay, so we had a couple more subjects jump on. I'm gonna skip a couple because I'm gonna push them back for our next show because I don't really want to go over too far. So I'm gonna jump down to we're gonna talk about struggling NBA teams next week and coaches in the hot seat. We're gonna do those next show, okay?
Okay.
So we're gonna jump on to buying or selling. That's the subject I want to come. And so basically, what it is, buying and selling is I'm gonna tell KDH a question. I want to know if he's buying or selling, and basically just let the viewers understand what buying and selling mean. Buying is mean that you agree with what has been said. You agree with it. Selling means I don't believe it, and so I'm selling. I'm not believing it at all. So that's what I want everybody to understand what difference between buying and selling. Because a lot of people I look at what do you mean buying and selling? Okay, so question 1: Adrian Griffin coaching skills. Are you buying or selling that he's not really looking that good at this moment and he don't really know what to do? Are you buying or selling that?
That he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing. And are you questioning? Let's say, let me phrase. Are we questioning his coaching ability, his skill set? Are you buying that he's having issues? He don't know what he's doing, or you sound like he's okay. He's still doing a good job. So basically, that's what I'm
asking. Right now, I'm gonna have to say I'm buying into it right now. It even though it's on the mixture that I think because buying means I think he is coaching right, correct?
No, selling mean you think he is. I mean, selling mean
okay, so selling. I think he's selling. I think he is doing decent. I think the first few games he was struggling to kind of figure out how the rotation was going to work. Not to mention with Chris Middleton on the injury list, he didn't know how to play him. There was moments he was playing 14 minutes. I didn't know why. Then forgot he was on an injury list. But I mean, like for the most part, I think right now, I think he's on track to. He's doing a good job. Since then, they haven't lost a game since the first time I was really questioning. Besides the Orlando and Indiana game, but. I mean, those games looking good, and we're looking at the same issue that we've been seeing from the Bucks is defense. When with Drew Holiday gone, they really ain't got too much of the defense. So he's got to figure out offensively how to make it work, and he's trying to outscore some of the teams, and that may not work. So I think he's right now. I'm gonna give it to him that he's just trying out different methods from the way I'm looking because certain games he's playing this person a lot more, playing that person a lot more. He's playing more defensively. He's playing more offensively. And he's still trying to make it work. So I'm gonna give him right now that he's just trying out things to see what works best for the Bucks to try to win some games because I'm not liking what he's doing, but I don't think it's 100% his fault. He's a new coach, probably his first time head coaching. He's got to figure it out first, and he's gonna have to get. He ain't Mike Budenholzer. Who knows? Hey, just shoot the ball. Shoot. So this is different. I'm gonna give him some time right now. 10, 15 games from now, I might have that completely. Because I said he's right in the middle for me. But I'm gonna give him that he's probably trying some things out, and I'm gonna let it slide for now.
Okay. After you gave your compelling response to that, I think I'm gonna give right now. I'm gonna agree with you. I'm selling it. I don't think he's doing a great job. I don't think he's doing a good job.
He's on thin ice.
I think he's doing a subpar job. I think he's letting Giannis be too much. I feel like Giannis is coaching the team a lot. I think Giannis is making too many decisions, and I feel like and this is my take on. I feel like he letting Giannis do all this because the fact is Giannis one who gave thumbs up for him to get this job. I don't like how he's using Dame. I don't like I don't like his rotation on the court. I don't like his rotation of players. I think you need to figure out new rotation. I think you need to keep Dame and Giannis playing a lot more with each other because putting playing Giannis to the 8-minute mark in the first quarter, pulling him out, send him on the bench, keeping Dame out there. Then when you put Giannis back out at the 3-minute mark, you take Dame out 1 minute later. Then Dame out at the 2 minutes and 30-second mark, and Dame don't touch the floor again to the 8-minute mark in the second quarter, which is boggles my mind because you need somebody, a strong point guard of Dame caliber on the floor. Because Cameron Payne is a good point guard, but Cameron Payne paying from 2 minutes and 30 seconds down to almost the 8-minute mark in the second quarter is keeping him on the floor too long right now.
Mhm.
I feel like you have to adjust that a little bit. If you don't want to start Dame the second quarter, I can understand. But Dame should at least get on the game by the 10-minute mark, not 8-minute mark. 2 minutes is good enough to keep him off the floor. That's almost half a quarter you keep him out of the game. And then you try to keep their minutes low because if I'm not mistaken, they averaging right around 32, 34 minutes a game. No, you're trying to win. Are you trying to me, I feel like, are you trying to win or are you trying to lose your job? Because right now he making some questionable decisions with his rotation, questionable decisions on how he using Dame. Dame don't seem comfortable right now. I know Dame got to get fit playing with another team because he's been playing with Portland for years, but it feel like Dame is on a leash, and it feels like we slow the game down too much. Like you will get a rebound and they'll turn around and they'll drill up the court slow, or the other team will score and then bring the ball and slow. When you got other teams pushing the ball up the court past our defense, which burns me like we don't get back. Like it's embarrassing. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say selling at this moment.
At this
Give it
moment,
another month. Give it another month or two. If the Milwaukee Bucks are looking bad possibly by All-Star break, I can see him being fired. I'm gonna be honest with you. I can see him being terminated, especially if
that's
they
too late by then. Oh, by fire. I'm about to say.
if they say from by All-Star break, if they like number 7 or 6, closer to the play-in spot, he's gonna probably be out the league. He gonna probably be, and if he get fired after the half season, he won't never get another head coaching job. It won't happen again. Because they're gonna say you couldn't do it for half a season. You only made half a season with the Bucks, and you have considerably, arguably, one of the best players in the league right now. And then you got 2 of the top 75 players in the league right now on your team, and you can win games. So that's just my take on that. So we shall see how it plays out. Okay, are you buying and selling Harden future? If Harden future in the NBA is not good, wait, hold on. Harden's future, if not successful with the Clippers, could lead to him being out the league next year. If he has a very unsuccessful season with the Clippers, he gonna be out the league next year. You buying or selling that?
Like I said, I don't know. We talked about it a little. I'm probably gonna sell it just because if we're talking about him being a superstar, then I would buy it. If we're talking about him out the league, I don't think he's gonna be out the league. I just think his roles are gonna be a little bit different from what he's expecting and what other teams are expecting. I don't think, and if he doesn't want to play a bench role, then then that could escalate to him being out the league. But I mean, James Harden's gonna want his money. That's what he's always been geared towards anyway. Because his show ain't been playing. To switch up his game style to actually win. I mean, I will give it to him a little bit in Philly, but then after that first time he came in that following year, it went right back to James Harden's hands. So it's like I'm selling on it just simply because if we're talking about him still being in the league as a bench player, then yeah, I think he can. I think he could still be in the league for another 4 or 5 years for that and get you 10, 15. He can get you 12, 4 and 6. Hell, Derrick Rose can be in there. Derrick Rose hasn't been the same since I don't know how when. I think he can still have a shot in there. Which to not throw shade to Derrick Rose, but I mean Derrick Rose was a phenomenal player that eventually injuries brought him down compared to Harden. It's just you're not going to get the starting role on any team if this doesn't work. I don't think that's going to happen. I think you'll be on the bench, though. Any team could use you off the bench. There's a lot of teams that have no bench at all and could use someone like a James Harden to try to get the young guys involved, the young guys this and that. And it's like, that's your role. Kind of like what Chris Paul is doing right now for the Golden State Warriors. Like, I think you could play that role and just leading. But out the league, I don't see that. I don't see that happening.
I'm buying. If he have a very unsuccessful, unproductive year with the LA Clippers, he starts drama. He become another counselor. I feel like he's going to be out the league because I feel like GMs are not going to want to invest their money into him unless it's a very small amount, somewhere under 10 million a year. But I just don't see nobody really needing James Harden. I feel like even if James Harden better than your average point guard in the league, what does he bring to your team? Is he gonna bring this drama? What is you gonna expect? Is he gonna be at the strip club every night? Is he gonna want to fly to Vegas? Is he gonna even try? Is he gonna want to? He's already a liability on defense. What more can, if I'm gonna say he's turning 35 or somewhere around there, what more can he bring to your team than drama? And if it's not a contending team, what kind of energy, what mentality he's going to bring to those rookies, to those young players? How they going to view him as a leader? Can he be a leader? That's the question. Will he be able to be a leader on a young, inexperienced team? What his frustrations going to be like when they lose in games? Because I don't see no top team want. I don't see Denver wanting him. I don't see the Warriors wanting him. I don't see the Kings wanting him. I don't see the OKC wanting him back. I don't see the Lakers needing him. I don't see the Clippers wanting him. So I'm looking at these top 10. Don't see the Bucks wanting him. Don't see the Celtics wanting him. Do not see Brooklyn even
I
wanting him.
I could have sworn I heard Bucks talk about some James Harden in there. I don't know.
You did hear me talk about it last year, and I'm wrong. You was absolutely 100% correct. So I'm gonna give you that, KDH. You was correct. I was wrong on that. But I'm looking at all these teams. The Hawks not gonna want him. Orlando don't need him. Maybe Memphis may want him, but I doubt if Memphis is gonna want him really because
Not when we get our guys back.
Indiana's not gonna want him. Maybe the Chicago Bulls possibly may want him. Somebody like that, but it's not gonna be a contender team. The New York Knicks not gonna want the 76ers. Damn sure ain't coming back for him. So that's out the question. Miami Heat, why would they want him? Well, what you have two people that don't want to take days off? What, James Harden and Jimmy Butler together? That's chemistry not gonna work together. So I just don't see a team out there, even a team that's not a contender. I don't see San Antonio wanting him. I don't see Portland wanting him. Only team I could really say, only if anybody who would want him would probably be Chicago Bulls. That's the only team I can see out there that probably will want him. Only team I can see that want him. And Chicago's
Chicago would do something for like Lonzo Ball and somebody else since Lonzo ain't been playing it forever.
Well, Lonzo may not play again. We're not sure on that. So it's just like that's the only team I can see that want him. But I just don't see no contender would be saying, "Hey, let's sign James Harden to a contract." I don't see a team that got a bunch of young players trying to figure out the roles on the team. That unless James Harden was a true leader, but I don't see leadership in him. I don't see no kind of leadership in him. So I don't see them going. So it's kind of like if you have a bad year with the Clippers, it's almost like they look at resume. They go look at your job history. If you have a job, you quit, you got fired, then you got fired from another one, you quit, or you quit this job, you quit that job, you quit the job, and you complain and use like the Dallas Mavericks now announcer said. If you always got that one person always complaining about everybody and turn around, they complain about their person, they complain about their person, and this person did them wrong, this person did them wrong. It's always them. Maybe you the person. And that's why I say I just say it gotta be a great year for him. Because if it's not, it don't have to be a great year. It gotta be a decent to good year for him. Because if it's not that, it's subpar, he's an issue. He don't want to accept this role. They start hearing mumblings in the Clippers organization from the player not happy playing with him. No one's, especially if you hear players saying they don't want to play with him. No other GM gonna want to pick that up and bring that to the team because then they go look at like he probably do the same thing he did over here because he wasn't happy in Houston, he wasn't happy in Brooklyn, he wasn't happy in 76ers. Now he's not happy with the Clippers. What's next? My team. So we're gonna be the same. We're gonna be the next issue. So that's the reason why I say that. I don't know. Okay, so are you selling or buying LeBron James winning his last championship was in the bubble? Are you buying that's the last time, or you selling that he gonna win another one? He possibly gonna
With the
win another.
Lakers, yeah, I'm buying that. If he's going to continue to stay on the Lakers, then I'm buying that. I don't see him winning another championship here in the in the West. West is difficult right now. He was able to do it, in the East when it came to injuries, but the West is a little tight, and we've seen it. I mean, me personally, I'm going based off of playoff performances when it matters most, and I still seen the LeBron that I've been seeing for the past 20 years when it came to them playing against Denver. If you wanted points from him, he dropped 23 in the first quarter. I mean, he dropped 25 in the first half. If you wanted defense, he played his best defense he possibly could in the second game. If you wanted to get other guys involved, he did that in the first one. If he's on a different team, and I think probably in the East somewhere, probably like imagine if LeBron just happened to go to Boston, even though I know he already said he ain't never going to Boston. But I'm just saying, if he went to a team like that, yeah, I could see him getting a ring. I could definitely see it. But any other team with the Lakers right now, I'm buying that. I'm buying that 100%. Way it's looking, look like he's a Laker for life. I'm buying into that. He ain't winning no more championships. He's gonna have to surprise. And if he does win another championship, I'm telling you right now, he's the GOAT to GOATs, and I don't want to hear nothing else about that GOAT debate because everyone has him out. So if he wins another championship, he's the GOAT of the GOATs, and there's no consideration towards it. There's no excuse. No excuse. No excuse.
I still won't give him that title. But
You're crazy. You're crazy. If he wins another title at the age of 35, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing.
Even if he's a role player.
It doesn't. It's LeBron. Number one, he's never going to be a role player because he's still one of the top 15 guys in the league.
No, I don't see him. No, he's not winning.
He's never going to be a role player.
I'm gonna agree with you on that 100%. That I'm buying it. That I don't think they're gonna win another title. It was funny when Lil Wayne said that in order for them to win the title, they gotta get rid of AD. So Lil Wayne know he's not gonna be able to. He got courtside. He got season tickets to the Lakers game. I don't know if they're gonna be a good look when he goes to the game and AD look over there at him on the court side and say, I heard what you said. So now you're at the game watching. I'm be honest, I don't think AD gonna ever speak to Lil Wayne again because of that comment. I think even if they had any kind of rapport or relationship, they no longer have that. I'm gonna just be completely.
I mean, it depends because I'm like, if he said it in the aspect of y'all need help, and the only way you can get that help is if you get rid of AD.
No, he was saying, he said basically AD is a liability. AD is not championship, not gonna help him win the championship. So you're telling no basically I'm in the rest of no. That's why I just said I feel like it's a wrap. It's a wrap for if they ever had a friendship or any kind of rapport, they don't have it no more after that because AD is very sensitive anyway. And I think honestly, I think as much as LeBron defends AD, he's gonna take defense to what Wayne said as well. I think he's not going because he's gonna have to defend. He's going if the reporters ask him what Lil Wayne said, what he said, he's gonna have to defend. He's gonna defend AD because it's his teammate. He may agree with him, but he's gonna have to defend him. So
maybe.
No, I'm buying it. I don't think. I think he because the league is too strong now. It's too dominant, and like I just don't see them really getting out
for him to do it by himself.
Yeah. What you mean?
If LeBron had his help, at least with a different at least one more superstar, like most of these guys in the league now, then I think it'd be different. I think it'd be slightly different. He can't do it by himself like he used to in Miami, Cleveland, and what you call it?
Hold on. He ain't do it by himself then either. Come on now.
He didn't do it by himself, but I'm saying on the aspect of LeBron controls the game both ways when he was on those teams. I'm not saying that he won it by himself, but LeBron, when LeBron was struggling, D-Wade helped up. When D-Wade was struggling, you had no choice but to still worry about LeBron, no matter what.
But LeBron is so-called playing with one of the top players in the NBA, AD.
Okay, hold up. He is. I mean, the AD, if healthy, is one of the best players in the NBA. Look what he's doing now. The only person that's better than him on the center position is Jokic.
Let me ask you a question. I want you to tell me this. If AD and Giannis switch teams, you think LeBron have a good chance?
No.
So you think he'll still struggle?
Yeah, I still think he would struggle. Simply because AD is a better shooter. And how the game works, you just go and double team two motherfuckers that can drive through the paint. We already get hell for Giannis just driving in with no Now with AD, he can spread the floor. Same with Jokic. Jokic, if he didn't have a 3-point shot, he would not be as threatening.
So what if you switch AD and Jokic?
That's a whole different ball game.
LeBron and Jokic.
You ain't stopping Joker. You ain't stopping Joker. Who's stopping Joker? There's no one.
Embiid.
You're talking about he's the dom. Stop it.
MVP. He's
MVP.
MVP.
He's the NBA's MVP. He ain't the people's MVP because we know damn well that should have been Jokic.
No,
and he ended up winning that year.
It was
the same year that DeMarcus Cousins said, "Oh, Jokic ain't proved nothing." Well, he did now. Now he did. So stop it. DeMarcus just mad because he ain't won nothing.
Okay, let's move on to the last one. The Timberwolves and the Pacers are real contenders in their respective conference. Are you buying or selling this?
Oh, that's a tough one. Because real contenders means that we think they can actually win the championship. Am I correct?
Let me rephrase it. I'm gonna add a caveat to that. Real contenders as they can make it a deep run in the playoffs. I ain't saying they win it, but they can make a deep run.
I'm buying that. Because one thing, that's difficult because I'm buying into it.
Or do you want to buy one of them and sell the other?
No, I buy both, but my only buy would be if they stay healthy. And if the team is completely healthy by the time playoff. If one of those guys, those main guys, are done, because they're high usage guys, so they're 9 times 10 the biggest factors of getting injured potentially because they're the high usage guys. You're going to be on the court majority of the time. You're going to play a lot. If they stay healthy, I think they're real contenders and they could shock a lot of teams. If they don't be healthy, no, not at all. Because without Tyrese Haliburton, I mean, we've seen how they were. They were subpar, and they didn't make the playoffs after they were already on track. And with Timberwolves, granted, we talk about the year they had before they had Gobert, they couldn't get past Grizzlies, and then the year last year, they didn't get nowhere. So it's like there wasn't much of a change for either team. And the other teams got deeper. So it's like I see them potentially, but at the same time, it's just like they got to be healthy. If they're healthy, maybe. It's a tough one though. That's a tough question though.
Yeah, it gonna be a 50-50. I mean, I'm buying the Pacers possibly could make a deep run. I'm selling on the Timberwolves. Only reason I say I'm selling Timberwolves because I look at the West and I still see that you got your Denver Nuggets and you have, even though I still think they got a good opportunity, Phoenix Suns. And then you have, you even have the point you look at the Sacramento Kings. I know they had a kind of road. It's not as started as how they won to start, but you still have those top teams right there that's competing. You have your Golden State Warriors because you can never count out Steph Curry. So I still look at it like it's a kind of hard. It's kind of, I can see them making the playoff, making a deep run. I'm not sure. It depends on who they go against in the first round. That's really depends on that. Same thing with the Pacers. Depends on who they go against in the first round. Because if the Pacers round up going against the Boston Celtics in the first round, then no, they're not. They're gonna if they're going against the 76ers, if they're going against the Milwaukee Bucks, they probably got a good chance because the way our coach is, I don't know what the hell they could do. Might get eliminated in the first round again, and it'll be an issue. Then Giannis go ask for a trade during the offseason. So I'm gonna have to pack my bag. There's gonna be a lot of packing I'm gonna have to do. I just think it's like you say, it is a hard question. Like I said, I'm buying with the Pacers, but I'm selling on the Timberwolves. I just gonna see the Timberwolves making
it's deep. It's deep in there.
Yeah. So I can see them. I can see possibly making to the second round if they like you say they stay healthy. I don't see neither one can make it out the second round because it'll be playoffs are, as we know, playoffs are a different animal than the regular season. Regular season, everybody's running, everybody's shooting. You get to do all what you want to do. But when you get to play out, the game slows down a little bit more, and it's more strategic in the playoffs than it is during the regular season. So it's just 50-50. I'm buying and selling half on that. So okay, man. Well, because we went quite far, and we go next time. We're gonna talk about the struggling teams in the NBA. I may have to switch some of these people around because may have some more struggling teams. We're gonna talk about the coaches on the hot seat. We're gonna talk about teams that need traded on the next show. But we're just going to wrap up the show this time. We had some good topics. Look, I'm glad we got the James Harden talk out the way because I didn't want to do that the whole season. every time we do a show, we talk about. So is James Harden going to be traded to a new team? I don't want to do that. I don't want to have that conversation over and over and over. So he's traded. He's good. Of course, we're going to talk about him more because he may F up a little bit more this season. So of course, he's going to be a topic of conversation. Tell me real quick, what give me, I'm gonna get last thing. Give me one thing you surprised about this season that you have seen, and one thing you're not surprised about.
One thing I'm surprised about is the in-season tournament. I didn't know how it was going to play out. I didn't think it was going to. Nobody wanted to play. I didn't think I was going to get good play. I didn't think anything of it. But we're seeing some great basketball with this in-season tournament, and it is looking worth it. That they added it. I will say that if anybody's able to watch it, you ain't got to watch most of the season, but you can watch some of them in-season tournament games. You can watch the All-Star and then watch the playoffs. That's the only thing I would say go ahead and watch now because that's the times that they're actually out here playing. Because these dudes want that money at the end of the day. I mean, if there's 500,000 coming your way, I'm taking that. I'm taking that. So that's one thing I'm surprised about.
Before you tell me what you're not surprised about, who got the best looking court? Who got the worst looking court?
Ooh. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't seen all of them.
Well, from the ones you've seen, let's go with that.
That's maybe Miami. Maybe I don't know. Man. I might have to go Miami or something.
Hold on, you getting Miami props? Oh, wow, you getting Miami? Hey, Daniel Roach, you getting Miami some kind of props on the show? So
I mean,
what?
it looks like I don't know. I like the court. I like the red. I like the gold. I don't think it's too bad. Tell you who I don't like is I think it's the Wizards. Oh, I ain't like their court. If that's what I think it is.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the courts right now to get a quick look at because that court came out. Okay, so I'm looking at the court. I'm gonna tell you who I wish they would change the color to.
Mm-hmm.
The Chicago Bulls. I wish they would have did a black and red. Could have been tighter than red and red. That was two.
They had like red and burgundy, I think.
Yeah, like a burgundy. They should did the middle red and the outside black. That would have been look good. They probably one of my least favorites. I think one of my favorite is I probably like
Utah's I don't think it's too bad. Just the rest of them just were kind of like, okay. Like it was like, okay.
Yeah.
But I think the Heat it just matched them perfectly. I'm not gonna lie. For me.
I like when it's multiple colors. So I think I'm gonna say my favorite, and I'm looking at them right now. I probably would go with I like Cleveland.
I like how they got the land instead of Cleve. It just says land. And I'm like, I thought that was tough.
Yeah, and I probably would say I like this is I would say Indiana's. I like the Pacers a little bit. So I mean it's a few I like. Okay, what is something that you're not surprised by?
James Harden being known
I was just about to say that's what I'm not surprised about James Harden.
James Harden and the team being 0-4 right now. Let me see. Yeah, to be honest, that's really it. Everything else is kind of just like okay, But that one, I'm not surprised they're 0-4 right now, at all.
Okay. Well, man, it's been a great start to the season. Even though it been real shitty for my damn Milwaukee Bucks, but we'll discuss that on further episodes because we just try to get caught up on everything because we ain't did no pre-show on the NBA start to the season. But man, I appreciate you taking a moment to join the show. I know you're on a busy schedule, man. You want to tell everybody how they go follow you on all social media or how they can follow
All
what you
social
got?
media will be Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Band-Aid Boys. I think Instagram is Band-Aid Boys Media. and the rest of them are just Band-Aid boys.
Okay, cool, man. Well, I do appreciate you taking a moment, to come and chop it up with me, talk a little bit about what's going on in the NBA. It been a great, exciting season so far. Some real big surprises going on, and I look forward to continue on having this conversation. But, we can always chop it up about the NBA. We've been doing it for years, and we can still do it now. Look forward to seeing what's going to happen in the in-season tournament. Looking forward to seeing who's going to play in Vegas. So it's going to be an interesting start to the upcoming season. So this is your boy DT from DT's Unfiltered Uncensored. You can follow me on all social media. You can follow my Instagram. That's DT _ Unfiltered Uncensored. You can also follow me on Twitter. That's DT UNFILUNCEN 247. You can follow my Twitch, my Facebook. They all day DT Unfiltered Uncensored. Also, you can subscribe to my Substack account where I'm gonna do periodically writings on NBA games. I'm gonna do write-ups on players when I go to tournaments, check them out. I'm gonna do a lot of write-ups this upcoming season because I am the media guy for the Team Scoop. Team Scoop has his own AAU team, so I'm the media guy. So I will be traveling with the team, doing interviews, and I got a chance to check out a lot of these talented Team Scoop guys today at the workout, which was awesome. It was a great workout. Oh my God, man, let me tell you this, KDH. Team Scoop 2026 team. Woo! Well, I say they gonna be tough. Man, that team is exciting. Like the kids are athletic. They go dunk. I mean, man, it's gonna be crazy. Then the Team Scoop on 2029 team, they tough. It's a lot of it's gonna be exciting seeing it this season, man. You're gonna definitely have to come out to some of the games. I'm gonna see if I can get you to.
You know I am.
I'm gonna see if I get them to talk to see if you come out and do some work with them because man, it's exciting watching these boys play. I mean, I got to see them. I got to see them do a lot of workout and shooting. But that 2026 team, man, led by Jaden Crawford. That's my guy, Jaden Crawford. Y'all definitely go check out that young man. One of the most underrated guards in the state of Georgia. Like I said, love his energy, love his family. The coaching staff at Team School, man, it gonna be a great year. I'm looking forward to watching these young men grow and compete, and I get to travel with the teams. I'm excited about that. I know the director was telling me some of the locations, and one of them where he says it's not set in stone yet, but he did bring up Nebraska. So I am interested in going to Nebraska because I've never been. Have you been in Nebraska? I know you traveled before, haven't you?
I actually don't think that was one of the states I've been in. Not Nebraska. There was nothing in Nebraska for me to go to.
But I want to go to a state that I've never been. So he said that's not guaranteed, but he said that was one of locations. So I'm hoping Nebraska and a couple other Tennessee. I know Ohio, a couple other states. So I'm looking forward to traveling, get to write these young men up and ladies too. Gonna be ladies playing as well. Get to cover them on and everything. So I'm looking forward to, man. It gonna be real exciting season. So you definitely gotta come on and check the young man out, especially at 2026 team. 2026 team, the whole organization as a whole. Awesome. It's awesome. Like it's like a family. It's like a family, and the coaching staff, the coaches, all of them. It's a lot of talent out there, man. It's like they very talented. I'm gonna get to see what they made of, and I think the way they handle if you watch it when they do workouts, coach KDH, love the way they do it. You'll love the way they do it, man. They looking for a coach too. I wish you could coach. They looking for a coach for younger teams. I wish I would definitely recommend you to them. But yeah, they got that.
It'll come soon. Come soon.
Well, they got that no shit mentality. Like we're not taking that. Like y'all go play hard. Y'all gonna fight. Y'all it's not gonna be this complaining. No, you gonna play. And I like that. And they like, oh, you go home. That's how they are. That's how their mentality is. You step up or you go home. So yeah, man. Definitely got to get you out to some games, and I'll definitely reach out and let you know more into this. But make sure y'all follow us on social media, the Band-Aid Board Podcast. He's one of the members of the Band-Aid Board will be joining us hopefully next time. He should be joining us next time, Will.
Yeah, he should be considering he'll be back.
he'll be back. So we definitely should be on the Three Musketeers back together again. But
It's gonna be a fool.
Huh?
I said it's about to be a fool.
I know we're gonna start arguing. We may have to get Michael in on some of these shows too, because Michael
wants to do it.
Okay, well, tell Michael let's chop it up because we get Michael on here with Roach. Woo, man, you can just sit back and be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
We can sit back and be quiet because we already know how this show gonna go. Because there's gonna be a lot of arguing and fussing and yelling and bickering and going back and forth with each other. But anything you want to tell anybody before we wrap the show up?
No, that's it. Just like I said, watch some in-season games. Watch regarding NBA. Just watch some in-season games. If not, watch the playoffs and have fun.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you. And this your boy DT. Make sure you follow me on my social media. Until next time, this is my episode of Beyond the Baseline, the NBA edition. Look forward to seeing y'all on the next show. Peace out.
It's DT. You have just now listened to the most talked about podcast in the country. DT, unfiltered, uncensored. Thank you for tuning in and see you next time.